start with you.
Oh,
Are you growing concerned that the Anthony Davis obsession could sink the Lakers?
No, absolutely not. First, we have to define what floats your boat before we know what sinks your ship. And we're talking about the Lakers here, which has always been a dual-minded franchise, which is always thinking on the court and in the box office. They've always been that way. Of recent times, we saw it with Kobe's contract in 2 years, $50 million. When they knew Kobe was coming down the hill fast with no breaks, they still gave that guy the most money in the NBA because he was box office. Why does Anthony Davis make sense? Because he's 25 years young, he's box office, and he's one of the top 3 players in our league. So as LeBron plateaus or starts to come down the hill with breaks, you're going to have another star in the facilities, in the building, that's going to help keep your dual-minded focus, which is box office showtime and also balling on the court. Lakers weren't expected to win a championship this year. I don't know if people signed up saying the Lakers going to win the championship in LeBron's 4 years with the Lakers. Think about it. There were no signs.
That's a sunken ship you just described.
Well,
if there's no title, the ship has sunk.
I wouldn't go there because there's no signs of decline in Golden State. None. Matter of fact, they've added a Boogie Cousins to a dynastic team. So if they don't step aside, all the other 29 teams have to get in line. And I think the Lakers are going to be at the top of that line. I think they're going to be championship contenders. But for anyone who signed on in ink that this team has to win the championship, they certainly didn't say it this year, or they didn't say it next year. What Magic Johnson...
Did you hear those other ships I talked about? Which one of them ships didn't bring a championship?
Oh, well, that's what the Lakers of old. I'm talking about the Lakers of new. You got to understand, this Kobe contract and the way that they're running it now is a completely different thing. What did Magic Johnson promise or he would step down? He didn't say a championship. He said a big-time free agent. He already got LeBron, and now he's going after Anthony Davis. He swung and missed on – did he not swing and miss on Paul George?
No question.
Okay. Did he not swing and miss more than likely on Kawhi Leonard? Okay. So Magic Johnson's in alignment to what his goals are, and the Lakers are in alignment to what their goals are.
Dante?
What you laughing at?
Obsession? I don't think it's not an obsession. He's a generational player. He's one of the best in the game right now. And to give up young players with a future we do not know, we know he is an asset that can change the history of a franchise. That's why other people want to give up assets for him. We're not saying the same thing about Boston, who's saying, wait till the offseason and we'll give up 4 picks and we'll give up 2 of our guys who've been proven in the playoffs and have had pretty good careers so far and who are going to be good players. We're not saying that they have an obsession with LeBron James only because it's Magic Johnson and the Lakers and it's because it's LeBron James. I'm sorry. Like, it's only because it's these guys that want it. But there are other teams that would, if they had the assets, give it up for Anthony Davis because he's that good of a basketball player.
There's not more desperation.
It's not more desperation because if they offer 2 picks, 2 guys on 1-year deals, and three guys that could be good in some time, could be very good in some time, could be possible all-stars in some time, but not right now. And these 2 picks, if you're good, if Anthony Davis does what he's supposed to, will be at the end of the first round. So it's not an overhaul of talent, an overhaul of assets. It's stuff that I have right now. Danny Ainge has said he's been saving up for this. He's been saving assets for Anthony Davis, for this possibility.
For the free agent period.
For Anthony Davis. He knew Anthony Davis was coming down the line. And that year that Anthony Davis is available, there's not that many other people that you would to change your franchise. So he's been saving for Anthony Davis, and the Lakers are going to use what they have to possibly get him. I respect that they're taking their chances out of it because they're trying to get too much right now.
The Lakers only have one goalpost, Marcellus, and it can't be moved. It's titles.
Right.
It's
No, you're
they
absolutely
only have
right on
one
that
goal.
one.
And when you have
Titles is what defines their
LeBron
leadership.
James
What?
at 34,
No, it's not.
who is still the best
Wait a minute. Hold on.
basketball player in the
Let's not change history here. Who has the most titles in the NBA? Okay. You can say, it's in the prehistoric era, but Boston, right? But what the Lakers did to make themselves the most storied franchise is have a story. Showtime, Dr. Bus, going back to the late 70s, early 80s. He said,
They got one less title. Am I right?
One, but guess what? If we're just going titles only, they wouldn't be the most storied franchise. It's because they have more of a package than just championships on the court. They've always been like that.
They went after LeBron for championships, and part of their package to him was we're going to be able to compete for a championship. He was not going to L.A. to be a star or to to be on rodeo, just to make movies. He's in hunt of a championship to finish off his legacy. And they promised him that, and that's why they're all in this pursuit for
I agree that LeBron makes you a championship contender, but if LeBron is here and you just add him to what they already had, which is a young core, which you're going to trade away, that doesn't make logical sense. Or you're saying we're going to use this young core to leverage to get Anthony Davis, but then you have nothing else. That makes sense as well. But guess what? That means they're not obsessed. That means they're not out of control. That doesn't mean that they are being sunk because they're in alignment to what their steps were, which is to trade the young core to get Anthony Davis or use the young core for a championship.
Again, there are people, and I would be one of them, but not as passionate as others, that giving up everything and everybody to get Anthony Davis is not a title formula. It's desperation.
Well,
and again, that's one of the reasons.
Why is it? What are they giving up? Listen, I've had an owner, and I don't want to give his name out, but I have an owner that said, you know what, there's not a price that you can put on a championship and to be in the finals. And Dan Gilbert, while you can say, oh, LeBron and Clutch had him held hostage, but he had 4 finals appearances in 4 years, and he might not have another in the next 10.
And Dan Gilbert.
And there's no price for your franchise.
I know Dan Gilbert very, very willing to go way over the salary cap.
He made the mistake
and
last
pay the
year.
luxury tax. He's worth $7 billion. Steve Ballmer, $40 billion.
But the Lakers,
those are the guys he should be playing for. Jenny Buss and the Buss fan, they make their money off the Lakers.
Yeah.
They're just not as going to be as free spending and just give up all these assets and then have to buy a bunch of players. I just don't. He should be playing with
They're
Steve
one
Ballmer.
of the franchises that has the ability to do that because they have such a big TV deal, so that they can afford to pay luxury tax because other teams don't have that asset as well. So they're one of the people that have the ability to spend because they have such a big market and they have so much guaranteed money in TV that they can do this without having to dig into her pocket.
They don't have Steve Ballmer money, and again, when you start paying that luxury tax at that level.
And a repeater tax that comes from the luxury tax.
That's
right.
You got to have.
But the fan base and the corporate sponsorships that the Lakers have that Steve Ballmer doesn't have. So he has his deep pockets, his own personal deep pockets. But the Lakers have corporate sponsorship, season tickets, and a great TV deal, something that the Clippers don't have.
Wait a minute. That sounds like we're changing lanes here.
That's a good point.
But it doesn't add up still to Ballmer.
What I'm saying is he could write so they have, each of them have the financial backing. I mean, it's not their ownership that has to pay that. They have the business model to back it up that can pay for itself rather than Ballmer have to go into his own pocket.
Okay. But I want to go back to what the Lakers are giving up. Let's just remember what they're giving up. And I used to be the biggest fan of Lonzo's game, but it comes with lulls at times. We don't know if Lonzo's going to be fully formed in time to win a championship. Kyle Kuzma, I'm in love with all the way through. Up and down, thorough. He's amazing. However, Ingram is up and down at times. He's playing well now, and there's been times he hasn't. You add that up as a collective, maybe it's greater than one Anthony Davis, but I doubt it. So what are you really leveraging to get Anthony Davis?
My point is because of where LeBron is in his career, heading in, is year 17 now we're in right now?
34.
Whatever it is, he's going to be 35. He has to win now. So when you give up these assets, LeBron is going to want win now veterans in their place that will be expensive. And so it's just not, there's no growth process. And so I just think giving up everything when Anthony Davis has never played 82, Anthony Davis has never peed a drop in the postseason. Anthony Davis, and I don't want to, I just want to say that this is a football analogy, but Anthony Davis could be Herschel Walker. We could be looking at a Herschel Walker trade type situation.
One thing that Anthony Davis is an established superstar who has his identity and he knows how good he is and how good he can be. The problem with LA is that it is attractive to most people. It is a great city, great weather. But for a young person coming into any sports league, it can be the worst thing for you. And it could be the worst thing for you to be able to grab your identity, how you're going to work, how much you're going to put into this sport. And young players in a big city like LA and New York, they tend to flourish if you send them to a city that you don't have as much amusement, as much nightlife, as much things to get into rather than your sport. Case in point, Miami Heat. Pat Riley has it so strict to be in Miami. Like his tactics for his players, like so that you have to focus on basketball in order to be able to be good. And that's what you have to do in these big cities. So the LA Lakers might not be the best place for that young core right now. As you see in D'Angelo Russell, who went to Brooklyn and he has an opportunity to be better because it's all about basketball.
Oh, Brooklyn
in Brooklyn
is so much slower
But
than
Brooklyn
LA.
is not New York. Brooklyn is not New York City.
I live in New York.
Brooklyn is not New
Oh,
York.
it's not Manhattan, but
And
it's-
it's hard to get to Manhattan. It's
Let me
far.
transition to something that Dante set the table
And
for.
Anthony Davis did win in the playoffs. Don't do that. to him.
He
Give him that.
referenced Pat Riley. He ain't really done nothing. he referenced Pat Riley.
What?
And Pat Riley's control. And that's what I see here. Pat Riley and LeBron James butted heads and eventually went their separate ways because Pat Riley was in control of that ship in Miami. Who's in control here in Los Angeles? LeBron James or Magic Johnson? Be honest.
Whoa, excuse me. What, are you always honest? Or why you? If you say real talk, I probably don't trust you. Let me say this. I think it's a partnership. I really do. Let's go back. I think it's a partnership. Let's go back to when LeBron signed with the Lakers. Did he call Luke Walton? Did he talk to Luke?
I'm the captain.
Here's the partnership.
James is the captain.
You're reading this the wrong way. You're looking at this negotiation and the stall and the fact that they're leveraging so much, and you're like, oh, now Magic's not in accord and alignment with LeBron, but they actually are. Magic has 2 strikes on his record. One more strike, and now who knows what the NBA is going to do to Magic, right? We know about the tampering, the 2 times that he's been caught and fined for tampering. So LeBron has to be the guy on the front line making a lot of these moves. He's orchestrating this with Rich Paul to get this done. But they're both sitting there in agreement. We want Anthony Davis. So I wouldn't read too much in the fact that now it seems like Magic is in the background because Magic's the one that gave him the first offer. Magic's the one that upped the offer. So if he's not in alignment with him, the same Magic Johnson who walked up to the Lakers executives and ownership and said, I'm selling my shares. I don't want to be a part of this. Magic is no pump. Magic doesn't want to be on board.
Let me tell you what Magic is. One of the greatest 2 or 3 basketball players of all time. My favorite athlete of all time. But Magic, other than basketball, he will quit. And he quit on the Lakers and sold his shares. He quit on his television show. He quit as the NBA head coach. When the going gets tough off the basketball court, Magic gets going.
All 3 of those weren't quits.
Magic is an accomplished businessman.
That was not a quit.
And number one, a lot can be learned from both the partnership of Magic Johnson and LeBron James and the power that Pat Riley has in Miami. Because without LeBron James, they don't have any playoff series wins at this point in time. So there's the Miami Heat.
Well, they won in 06 with Dwayne Wade.
No. I'm talking about when LeBron James left. But they had Shaq then. When you won a championship then. So there's the discipline, but there's also a star to go with that. And there's multiple stars. And you have to fix that discipline and control of an organization along with what the stars would want to play with. Because if you don't have your stars, you don't have any more finals appearances. So Magic's partnership could be some part of learning from Pat Riley, getting an organization moving in the right direction, and having a partnership with your stars to be able to keep stars there. Because if you try to be too stern, you won't be able to keep a star there for long.
Dante, this was one of your best performances.
Oh, here you go, right?
He put me in
3rd best Dante we ever seen.